Let's talk about something we all do, but maybe don't talk about a lot. Those imaginary scenarios we play out in our heads, the arguments, the big wins, the conversations we have over and over. What's really going on there? You know that feeling, right? You're completely lost in this super detailed conversation. You've got the perfect comeback, this dramatic confrontation is unfolding. But here's the thing, none of it actually happened. So, what is going on? Why on earth do our brains do this?
Well, it turns out it's not just you. This isn't some random weird daydreaming. It's actually a deeply human behavior. So let's get into it. What are these imaginary conversations all about, and why can they feel so incredibly real?
And you know exactly when it happens, don't you? It's always in those private, quiet moments. You're in the shower, walking by yourselves, or just lying in bed at night. Your mind is free to just go, and suddenly you're not just walking anymore. You're in the middle of this perfect explanation to a friend or replaying a moment from earlier in the day. And this is the wild part. The scenarios might not be real, but the emotions absolutely are. Your brain actually treats it like it's a real event. You can feel your heart start to pound with anger or get that knot of anxiety in your stomach, all from a conversation that only exists in your head. Your body is literally reacting as if it's real. So, okay, what's the science behind all this? Because this isn't just some weird brain quirk. It's actually a fundamental feature of how we operate. It's a really powerful cognitive tool that our brain uses for a very specific reason. And yeah, you guessed it, psychologists have a name for this. They've studied it a ton, and the term they came up with really nails what's going on here. It's called mental simulation. And it's a huge reason why we, as humans, are so good at planning for the future. Think about it. Your brain is just constantly running these little what-if scenarios in the background, testing out different possibilities so you're ready before you ever have to deal with them for real. The easiest way to think about it is like this. Your imagination is your own private, built-in rehearsal space. I mean, top performers do this all the time, right? An athlete will visualize the winning shot. A public speaker will run through their entire speech in their head. And what you're doing? It's basically the exact same thing. You just might not even realize it. But okay, it's not always about just planning ahead. There's often a much deeper emotional reason for all of this, too. These daydreams, they're not random. They pop up because your mind is trying to work through something that actually matters to you.
Yeah, these mental simulations are totally tied to our core emotional needs. Maybe you're replaying a conversation that just felt unfinished, or you're wrestling with all that anxiety about what's coming next. Sometimes it's just a quiet need for a little bit of control in a world that feels kind of chaotic. And a big one, it's often your brain just trying to process social stuff and figure out how other people actually see you.
Okay, so that's the why. Now let's talk about the what. It turns out these imaginary scenarios tend to fall into a few really common patterns. And if you can recognize them in your own thoughts, it can tell you a lot about what your brain is really chewing on. All right, first up, there's the argument. Oh, we've all been there. You're replaying a conversation just to finally say that perfect comeback, hours after you needed it. Then there's the success. This is where you're imagining getting that promotion, winning that award, or just proving somebody wrong. And number 3, the worst case scenario. This is your brain stress testing everything, preparing you for all the bad stuff that, let's be honest, will probably never, ever happen. So this whole thing is obviously a pretty powerful mental tool. But here's the real question, the one we need to ask ourselves. When is it helping us, and when does it become a trap? When does it start holding us back from reality? I mean, the appeal is so obvious, isn't it? In your head, you're the director, the writer, the star. You say the perfect thing. People react exactly the way you want them to. Everything goes according to plan. Because, let's face it, real life is almost never that neat and tidy. And that's really the power of it, right there. Imagination gives us a version of events where things just make sense. It's our brain's way of trying to create a little bit of order from the beautiful, messy chaos of real human interaction. But, and this is the big but, here's where the problem can creep in. The issue only appears when imagination starts to replace action, when we get so comfortable in our mental rehearsals that we never actually get out there and live the real thing.
So, let's look at this side by side. On one hand, it's a powerful tool. It helps you plan, it prepares you for challenges, it sparks your creativity. But on the other hand, it can become a quiet trap. It turns into a mental loop you can't get out of.
It starts replacing real-world action, and for some of us, it can become a place to hide.
So look, if you've been nodding along this whole time, the most important thing to know is this. It's not a sign that something is wrong with you, not at all. It's actually a sign that your brain is super active. It's constantly processing, analyzing, and just trying to make sense of the world. Because at the end of the day, our minds are incredible storytellers. But the best stories, the most important experiences, the moments that really change you, they will always, always happen outside of your imagination, out here. And that really leaves us with one last question to think about. Is your imagination a tool that's preparing you for life, or has it become a comfortable place to hide from it? That's a really important question to ask yourself. And figuring out the answer, well, that's where the real growth happens.